Teacherplus. In this session, we are going to learn more about classification of plants. In our universe, there are different types of plants, right? To identify them, okay, to read and to study well, we required classification, okay? So based on what the classification will be done, now let's see. Plants can be divided into two types based on flower, okay? First one, which plants have flowers? Those plants we call flowering plants. Which plants do not have flower? They are called non-flowering plants. Non-flowering plants. These plants do not have any flower, okay? Non-flowering plants. And the second one is flowering plants. Okay? Which plants have flower? They are called flowering plants. Flowering plants are also called phanerogams. Phanerogams. And non-flowering plants are also called cryptogams. Cryptogams. Okay? Non-flowering plants are also called cryptogams. Flowering plants are also called phanerogams. Okay? Again, non-flowering plants can be divided into three types based on their body structure. Okay? The very first one is thallophytes. And the second one is bryophytes. And the last one is pteridophytes. And coming to flowering plants, again divided into two types based on seed arrangement and seed structure. Okay, there are two types. One is gymnosperm and the second one is angiosperm. Angiosperm. Here, gymnosperms are naked seeds. Means the seeds are outside the fruit. Actually, the seeds are inside the fruit, but coming to gymnosperms, the seeds are out of the fruit. Okay? And angiosperm again divided into two types. Okay? One is monocotyledon and the second one is dicotyledon. I will write here angiosperm. Angiosperm plants can be divided into two types based on cotyledons. Okay? Monocotyledon monocotyledons and dicotyledons. Okay? Mono means one, di means two. Okay? So angiosperm can be divided into two types. One is monocotyledon and the second one is dicotyledon. Cotyledon means seed leaf. Okay? So which seeds have only one seed leaf, those we call it as monocotyledons. For example, rice. And dicotyledons have two seed leaves. When they are germinate, we can observe the two seed leaves are grown. Okay? The best example is groundnuts, and all pulses comes under dicotyledon and all cereals comes under monocotyledon. Okay? See here, plants can be divided into two types. One is non-flowering plants and the another one is flowering plants. Okay? Non-flowering plants can be divided into three types. One is thallophyta, bryophyta, pteridophyta. And flowering plants can be divided into two types. Okay? Based on their seed structure and arrangement and location. Okay? See here, there are two types. phanerogams can be divided into two types. One is gymnosperm and the second one is angiosperm. Okay, and angiosperm also can be divided into two types, monocotyledon and dicotyledon. Okay, now let us learn more about thallophyte. Okay, yeah, thallophyte, which means thallo, which means body, and phyte, which means plant. So wherever you see the word phyte, which means plant, okay, thallo, which means body, and one more you have to remember, phyll. Wherever you see this word, you have to remember this indicates leaf. Chlorophyll, where is chlorophyll present? In the leaf. Okay, so phyll, which indicates leaf, phyte, which indicates plant. Okay, and thallo, which means body. So coming to thallophyta, okay, so these plants do not have a proper body structure. We cannot differentiate root, stem and leaves. Okay, thallophyta comes, examples are algae and fungi. Okay, now let's see. So the best examples of thallophyta is algae and fungus. Okay, these two comes under thallophyta because algae do not have a proper body structure. Even fungus also do not have a proper body structure. Means they do not have stem, root and leaves and flowers. Okay, here, yeah. Now let us see some of the importance of algae. Okay, see here, this is algae. Which color is this? Green, right? So this is green algae. Why it is green color? Because it have a chlorophyll, so they can prepare their own food. Okay, they are unicellular and they are also called prokaryotes, and they do not have a true nucleus. Okay, mostly they lived in the water. Now tell me, which organism lives on the earth? What is the first organism on the earth? Plant or animal? Yes, animal. Agrobacteria. Agrobacteria is the first animal on the earth. Okay, and the first animals are first plants are algae, and the first animal is agrobacteria. Okay, algae are the first plants. Okay, see here, this is a green algae. It is green in color. It can prepare their own food by themselves. Okay, they can give oxygen. Okay, and their habitat is mostly they are live in water and the moist places. Yeah, completely they are lived in the water. Okay, and coming to, yeah, see here, this green algae have a chlorophyll, right? So this is also called chlorophyce. Chlorophyce. Okay, and coming to here, this is red algae. Okay, why this algae is in red in color? Because it has picoerythrin pigment. Okay, green color chlorophyll pigment and red color algae have picoerythrin pigment. So that is the reason these we call it as rhodophyce. Okay, so red algae are also called rhodophyce. Okay, and the next one is brown algae. Okay, these are the important algae. Okay, and the brown algae have a pigment that is anthocyanin. Okay, and the next one is blue-green algae. Okay, see here, coming to green algae, the two examples are very important. You have to remember that. Okay, Spirogyra and diatoms. Okay. Spirogyra and diatom, these two are float on the water. Okay. And here you have to remember, here green blue algae, sorry, blue green algae. Why it is blue green algae? Because it has a pigment that is phycobilins pigment. So that is the reason this algae is blue in color, blue and green, both shades. Okay, so this is also called cyanophyceae. And this, sorry, I forgot to say this, and the brown algae is also called phaeophyceae. Okay, chlorophyceae, rhodophyceae, phaeophyceae and cyanophyceae. These are the important algae. These algae comes under thallophytes. They do not have a proper body structure. And one more thing, this blue-green algae is also called cyanobacteria. Actually, this is not a true algae, but it is a bacteria, but it included in the algae because it carry out photosynthesis. It have a green color pigment. Okay, phycobilins pigment. So it is also in green in color. So it also prepare food. So it have a algae characteristics. So that is the reason the cyanobacteria is included in the algae. Okay, this is also called cyanobacteria or blue-green algae. Okay. Next, and one more example, the best example of cyanobacteria or blue-green algae, that is spirulina. This is the algae. Okay, so this algae is rich in protein. 70 to 75% of proteins present here, and use spirulina and make tablets, capsules and powders. Okay, the spirulina is a richest protein. Okay, next. Yeah, Thallophyta examples are algae and fungus. Algae are done. Now let's see the fungus. Yeah, see here, algae are green in color, so they are preparing their own food. Okay, so they are autotrophs. The study of nutrition is called tropology. Remember this, tropology. The study of nutrition is called tropology. Algae are autotrophs, so they can prepare their own food. But coming to fungus, fungus do not have a green color. Okay, so they do not have a chlorophyll. They cannot prepare their own food. They are depends on the another organisms. Okay, so these we call it as heterotrophs. Heterotrophs. Algae are autotrophs and fungus are heterotrophs. Okay, why this fungus is included in the thallophytes? Because fungus doesn't have a proper body structure. Okay, this is these are the important fungus. Okay, so which we have in the 9th class textbook. Here, this is Rhizopus fungus. This Rhizopus fungus mostly grows on bread. Okay, so that is the reason we call it as bread mold fungus. Okay, this is a Rhizopus fungus and it grows on bread mold. Okay, they cannot prepare their own food. They grows on the food items. Okay, and the next one is mushrooms. Yeah, mushrooms are also not autotrophs. Okay, they grows on dead and decay plants or animals. Okay, they do not prepare their own food, and they grows on dead and decay of animals and plants. Okay, so dead of plants and animals are decomposed by the bacteria, so they grows on that dead plants and animals. Okay, so all mushrooms cannot eatable. Some of the mushrooms are poisonous. Okay, and mushrooms have a small openings so that they can trap nitrogen. So mushrooms are rich in nitrogen, protein food. Okay, next, this is yeast. Mostly yeast in the fermentation process to prepare alcohol and vinegar, and even they used in the bakery items. Okay, and the next, this is lichen. Yeah, lichens, here fungus and algae. Okay, both are in living relationship. Okay, see here, algae prepare food. Okay, and fungus is protecting the algae. Both are benefited mutually. Okay, here lichens are in symbiotic relationship. Symbiotic relationship. Even Escherichia coli bacteria also lives in our big intestine. Okay, and E. coli bacteria gives us vitamin K and B12, and we are giving food and shelter. So E. coli and human beings are both are in living relationship. That relation is called symbiotic relationship. Even nitrogen fixation bacteria also in symbiotic relationship. Okay, those bacteria they lives in the roots of the plant, and they trap the nitrogen and prepare they converted into nitrogen salts so that the plants can absorb and prepare food, and the plant is giving shelter to the bacteria, nitrogen fixing bacteria. Okay, and this is aspergillus fungus. Okay, mostly this fungus grows on plants, so that is the reason that fungus we call it as plant fungus. Aspergillus. This fungus mostly grows on leaf, okay, stem, okay, and flowers and fruits. Okay, this white color fungus is aspergillus. So mostly it grows on plants, so that is the reason this fungus is called plant fungus. Okay, next, so fungus and algae both are comes under thallophytes. Thallophytes do not have a proper body structure. All algae lives in water. Okay, so they do not have a root, so that is the reason they cannot live on the soil. Okay, here bryophytes. Bryophytes are a little advanced plants compared with thallophytes. So root-like structures, okay, grows. So they have a small root-like structure. So that is the reason they lives on the soil. Okay, but these roots are not well developed. Okay, so these plants are also called amphibians. Amphibians of the plant kingdom. Plant kingdom. Okay, because these bryophyta plants can live on the water, live in the water and live on the land. Okay, so these plants are terrestrial animals and aquatic plants. So that is the reason we call it as amphibians of the plant kingdom. Okay, and the best examples are mosses and liverworts. These two are the best examples of bryophyta. These lives on the lives in the water and on the land. And the next, pteridophyta plants. These are the true plants. Okay, thallophyta do not have a body structure. Coming to bryophyta, it can live they live on the land. But coming to pteridophyta, these are these have root, stem and leaf. These are the true plants. They have stem, leaf and root. Okay, true roots, stems and leaves. Here in these plants developed vascular bundles. Vascular bundles. Vascular bundles means that the two major tissues they are xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem. These tissues are developed in the pteridophyta plants. Xylem transport water, okay, and phloem transport food. Okay, vascular plants are pteridophytas, and these are the true plants. Okay, and these reproduce through spores. Okay, and the best example is ferns. Okay, so ferns plants have a small black color dots on the leaves. These are spores. What is the difference between spores and seeds? Seeds store lot of food in the seed to germinate or food for a baby plant, but coming to spores, they have a less amount of food stored in it. Okay, these pteridophyta plants can reproduce through spores. Okay, next. The next one is, so here flowering plants. Now let us learn. Non-flowering plants are done. Now let us see flowering plants. Flowering plants can be divided into two types. One is gymnosperm and another one is angiosperm. Okay, now let's see the gymnosperm. Okay, these are have naked seeds. Okay, see here, this is a seed. Actually seed should be inside the fruit, but here the seed is out of the fruit. Okay, this is GD Mamadi. Okay, here gymnosperms plants have a cone shaped leaves. Okay, here these are the seeds. So these leaves are cone shaped. Okay, and these are well developed plant, entire the plant kingdom. Okay, these plants grow in the forest areas. And here some of the important plants we have to see here. And here cycas plants. This plant's egg is bigger, okay, in the entire plant kingdom. Coming to animal, the biggest egg present in the ostrich, okay, and the biggest egg in the plants is cycas. Biggest egg, female egg, okay, and finest plants. These plants would used and make a good quality of paper, making good quality of paper. And Cyrnix plants, these plants would used and make cricket bats and hockey sticks. Okay, and redwood plants would used and make music instruments. And ginkgo biloba, these are the living fossils. Okay, and the one more plant, citrus plant. Citrus plant are also called devadaru plant, and this wood used in the railway sleepers. Okay, these are the important plants in the gymnosperm. Gymnosperm plants are well developed. Okay, they are flowering plants, but the seeds are naked seeds. Okay, the seeds are outside the fruit. Okay, these are the important plants from the gymnosperm. Okay, and next, yeah, the last one is angiosperm. Angiosperm is a flowering plants and also called phanerogams plants. And here they have a seed based on seed structure. They can be divided into two types. One is monocotyledon and another one is dicotyledon. Okay, monocotyledon means only one seed leaf. See here, This is only one seed leaf. This is a rice seed. When it is germinating, see here only one seed leaf. Okay. This is a groundnut seed. Okay. It has two cotyledons. Okay. See here two leaves, 1 and 2. Okay. Di means 2. And one more thing, all monocots plants have a fibrous root structure, fibrous roots, and all dicotyledon plants have taproot system. Okay, taproot system means this is the main root and the rootlets are grow from the main root. Okay, this is a taproot, and fibrous roots, many roots grow from the base of the stem. So these are fibrous roots. Monocot seed, these monocotyledon plants have fibrous root system, and the dicotyledon plants have taproot system. And one more thing, monocotyledon plants have parallel venation. Parallel venation, which means, see, this is a leaf, okay, this is the veins, okay, these are the parallel, means here one vein to another vein, there is a distance, this is this distance, and from here to here this distance are same. Okay, between the veins the space is same. Okay, these are parallel venation. Between the two veins the distance is same. Okay, and coming to taproot system or dicotyledon, they have reticulate venation. Okay, okay, so this is reticulate venation. Reticulate venation. All dicotyledon plants have reticulate venation, taproot system, and two seed leaves. And coming to monocotyledons have fibrous roots and parallel venation. Okay.